What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Super pumped. We have the Erika in the building.
Yeah.
Applause. And I'm gonna let Erika. She is one of my personal friends. We just met recently. Connected on what she's doing it for the world and how she's sharing her gifts to better this beautiful world for beautiful ladies and men. She is a sex coach and she helps empower women through sexuality and making them feel comfortable in the bedroom and empowered and all that. But I'm gonna let Erika talk a little bit more deeper about what she does.
Hello, world. My name is Erika Susana Briones, and thank you so much for this.
I like how you said that. That's beautiful.
I am Mexicana. Actually, I was born in Mexico. And yet I look Indian. I do have my passport. So anyways, back to the topic. I am a sex coach. I'm here all about sexual empowerment, healing, confidence. Sex can really mess up family lives. We look at medicine, we look at all those crazy fucked up families that have like guys go to like prostitutes and escorts, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, but there's a lot of secret that actually really ruin especially children. And for me is to really share my story, to really heal through what I've gone through. So what I do, I help women feel confident in the bedroom.
Beautiful.
And not only in the bedroom, but other areas of life. Because if you are a fish in the bedroom, you're going to be dead in life. Women to feel that inner goddess, that Zen diva. So they really find that purpose. And that can be their biggest turn on. Pleasure is a birthright. And
I like that. That's beautiful. I agree.
8,000 nerve endings.
Say that one more time. Just like drop that.
We as women have 8,000 nerve endings. Guys have about 4,000.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to ask you this question. How did you become a sex coach? How did that happen for you? Like, what got you into this field, and how long have you been doing it for?
That's an excellent question.
Thank you.
There's no accidents. So I turned my pain into purpose.
Beautiful.
I a sexual abuse background. And basically, I've been living a double life since I was 7 years old. It's not a common, 1 in 3 women are sexually abused all over the world. And so eventually I studied, went to college. I was the good girl. And what happened was I did everything right. I was trying to make my family happy. I wanted to be an engineer. Then I wanted to be a nurse. But because I didn't know who I was, I ended up chasing someone else's dream. So ironically, I had a YouTube channel called Latina Skin, which I thought it was a porn name. And so I thought I was supposed to do film. And LA, running away from my problems, running away from thinking that my problems are going to be in San Diego, because I was growing up in San Diego. Turned out that my solution was actually like healing my purpose. But here's the really crazy thing is I got into the erotic arts. I was a dominatrix, I done things that I'm not proud of, but it's common, right? Some girls it happens to them. So I've met a lot of mentors, sex positive friends of mine, Destin Garrett, Reed Mahalko. I'm connecting with women, and having that support really anchored me to really inspire other people who are going through this to turn into purpose.
So
I'm a sex coach.
Wow, that's very seems like you're very clear on the direction that you're headed, which is a very beautiful thing. So with this like work of art and you getting in touch with your purpose in life and really engaging not only like your heart, your love, your emotions, your, like you said, your nerve endings all in one, how do you feel like has helped you shape your view on society sex, and how do you feel like society's view is on sex?
Wow, that's a beautiful question.
Mm-hmm.
Society's view on sex. I can't speak for all women. I will
Mm-hmm.
share my experience, and I will share an insight by Simone de Beauvoir. She has a concept called the second sex. Have you
Yeah.
heard of the second sex?
No.
Okay, actually, it's so funny. My professor, he sent me a link, and ironically, I was learning about sexuality in college when the sex
Mm-hmm.
came out.
Mm-hmm.
And movies, you know, like there's so many movies. Like I always like refer to movies. Sex in the City. We have 50 Shades
Mm-hmm.
of Grey. We have
Yeah.
all these identity media components that shape us as women. So
Mm-hmm.
the idea of the second sex is women are not born a woman, they become a woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, their period, you know, they're raised to think we need to be mothers by 30, we need to get married, and all of this really really pressures us to perform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so there's this idea of the doll. So, you know, we as women are raised with the Barbie doll, you know, Barbie and Ken. You know, they're plastic, they're passive, they're just to be docile and to just be kind of like submissive, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of shapes us to be submissive with guys. So
Yeah.
the roles are, we're kind of passive in our jobs, we're
Mm-hmm.
passive to money, we're passive in our bodies. We don't know how to ask for sex. So
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, there's all these other concepts like Cinderella, Snow White,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like do me, like we're literally just laying in bed, expect
Mm-hmm.
us to just have, you know, the guy to dictate our role,
Mm-hmm.
gonna participate in the bedroom, instead of us being, you know what, I like it like this,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I totally understand how that is, because I've been kind of like numb to sex. And I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of my friends, and there's three components of sexuality. There's procreation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're just having sex to make babies.
Yeah.
It's really religion based. There
Is
is
that common in our society now, to where it's like where people go into sex for that reason?
um, depending on the ideologies of
Mm-hmm.
the structure, depending on the culture, you know, how much they are tied to that belief system, which is really escape.
Okay.
There is there's recreation, where it's like we're
Mm-hmm.
just having sex to fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, and we're like
Mm-hmm.
it just to get it out of our system. It's muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
If you dance, right,
Mm-hmm.
you know, have you ever see a dancer and they're just like wild, they're just moving and they're like not there, they're just like just trying to show off, they're trying to like be seen, but they're
Mm-hmm.
moving without any intention, they're just moving just like mindlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the other type of sex, which is fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at children, they're like, I want to build blocks, I want to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I know people who have amazing sex. They're like, oh, I want to role play. I want to get spanked tonight. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's try tantra. Like, let's like spice it up. Those
Mm-hmm.
are couples that actually make their relationship stronger, because they're always playing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So definitely make it a reminder to play and be creative, and like you said, use fantasy. So I mean, is there a way to combine both recreation and also fantasy? Like, do those combine? Let's just say if you're like a fantasy recreation type of person.
Well, give me an example.
Like, well, I mean, you said there's recreation, then there's procreation, and then there's fantasy, right? So the question is if someone is involved into like both, like they still have their fantasies, but they still do it commonly, like they, because I mean, we have a stigma of like, oh, if you have sex with multiple partners, it's kind of looked down upon for more women than men in society.
Absolutely. And a lot of this stems from being slut shamed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Told if you sleep with men, you're a slut. If you don't sleep enough, then you're a virgin, right? We have you mixed up. And it is possible to have recreation and fantasy, but it comes down to just being really present in your relationship, not having any expectations. Sometimes we use sex as revenge. We use sex in exchange of value for value. Like, I had sex with you, you know, I did all of this for you. Like, look at all the positions I've done, but then they're expecting something in return in some situations.
Okay, cool.
Not all situations.
Yeah. So how do you communicate to your partner your like questions, like how many partners have you had, how many people have you had sex with, and not come off as judgmental? Because a lot of like you know, there's a lot of like judgment a lot of times when you say, oh, like I had sex with like this amount of people. So how do you, what's like the best way to ask to come off as like, oh, you know, I want to be protected, so how many partners have you had?
That's a really good question, and I hear where that's coming from. It's safety. You know, there is a feeling of judgment sometimes when we think about how many partners we slept with. It's really a matter of tonality, and you're not guilty about it. Right? Have you ever seen that BuzzFeed video where the girl is confronting her partner? And you know that video where they're like chairs?
I didn't see it, but I'm listening.
Okay, so she's confronting him that he cheated and out that multiple partners, right? And it's interesting because there are people that are poly, and there's a way of being with how you approach that. And there is a formula to really address like what's uncomfortable, what's like standing between you and them. And so my friend Reed Mahalko, who has this website called Read About Sex, Sex Geek, he has a formula called the Safe Sex Elevator Speech, which is really cool. So imagine we're in the bedroom and you're like, we're getting excited, right? Like the clothes are off, like what is it? Adele is playing in the background, or Beyonce.
Shut it down.
And like feeling it, but one thing to do is just remember your temptations. Sometimes guys don't want to have a condom. So in terms of the question that comes up, just have a difficult conversation, like a safe sex speech. So you ask them, I want to have this conversation. Is it okay? It might throw them off because they're not used to that.
Yeah, I want to have this conversation right in the middle of it. What conversation?
When you say it sexy, like, hey, I really want to continue this, but can we have this conversation? Like, you say it.
Do a guy say it sexy like that too? Like, yeah. Yeah, I really want to have this conversation with you, girl. I like lick your lips. No, I'm joking. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Girl, I want to have sexy talk with you.
Yeah.
And you could just say safety is sexy. So
safety is sexy.
I want to feel safe in my body.
Comfortable.
Right. And so the first thing to address is STDs. So you could say something like, I have this and I just want to feel safe. Right. Because you want both of them to feel safe. So you get the guilt, you get the shame out of it. And the second thing is like, these are my likes, these are my dislikes. That's an opportunity to be like, have you had any partners before? Like, what is our agreement here? It might seem a little uncomfortable, but the more you practice it, the more each time you're going to feel a little bit more like you just told the truth. And the truth will set you free. And so you're going to be like, oh, I can really play now. I can really like tune into my body. I don't have to have that.
And it's even beautiful because you could show up like more authentic. I feel like that gives you a deeper sense of connection with that person the more honest you are. Because if you're not honest with yourself in that environment when you're going into that that activity, then you're bringing that into the bedroom. You're bringing that energy with you, which is not 100% showing your light. You know what I'm saying? And you could be all the way like in your realness, all the way in your truth in that moment.
Absolutely. And let me share something with you. Like, this is the truth. I've shared this before, and I had an STD, and I'm just going to say it right now. I told a partner this, and I did the safe sex elevator speech. I'll be honest, it was not what I expected. The speech said, it's dangerous and deadly. And I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off. And then right after that, I was being facetious, and I played the Michael Jackson song, Dangerous. I just changed it. And I said, you know what? I am upset. And at first I started, the more I practiced it, by the time I got to like maybe like another partner, I'm not going to name my partners, but I felt comfortable. They're like, wow, that's amazing. Like they to share with me, and then they're able to share with other partners and teach partners that.
Yeah.
Some guys just want to just put it inside without a condom, as it just feels good.
Touche. Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about, oh man, this one was an interesting one, what you were talking about earlier. We were talking about your tonality in your voice, and how certain voice, certain pitch, a certain tonality affects you sexually, which I found very interesting. So if a dude comes at you with like a high pitched voice, like, what's up guys? Da, 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 you're like, skirt. Yeah. Or is it is that with all women?
It really depends. Some women are just not conscious to be aware of that because they go in their head. We have there's 3 types of brain. There's the reptilian brain, which relates to a lot of like low level energies and emotions. I mean, the brain is typically responsible for emotions and memory, but the limbic system is twice the size of a guy's, which is responsible for, things that come up like Snapchat, Facebook, like what this guy said, this conversation. So we have a very overactive imagination, so that's why girls track down and like stalk you on Facebook. So because of that, we're so unaware of tonality. We're so unaware of what we actually want. And for me, it's when you're aware of the sound of your voice, you can really just bend reality, like the Matrix. Right? So I am so aware of my tone that I can shift it, where if I'm with a partner, I can just like, hey, like, what's up? Like, just flirt to like a baby voice, right? Or if I feel really angry, I can just change it to like a deeper voice. And the book, The Art of Seduction, by Robert Greene, I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I read it.
He talks about this idea of changing your pitch. Marilyn Monroe would change her pitch to seduce specific types of men. Cleopatra, there's diva archetypes. Cleopatra, Anna. There's so many right now that they can literally change their voice. It's the siren song, right? That's why you see all of these amazing musicians who are just amazing at their craft, because they can be so seductive. We as women, when we learn to play with that, we really like tune into our own turn on. And actually, I'm really fascinated with this topic.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
I mean, like, think about it. Porn, guys get so off on a woman moan. Like the whole Harry Met Sally scene, where she's like, oh my God, and like she's like, and you can tell. And sound is another element in Tantra, is this weaving of breath and energy exchange. Sound is an element that really gets you even more turned on. A guy, when he learns to moan, because some guys are very quiet, when a guy learns to moan, a girl can get even more aroused by it.
Oh, wow. So really working on your voice and working on how you use your voice, what would you say is one tip for a man, and then one tip for a woman to work on their voice to where It doesn't sound like skirt, like it sounds like, you know, beautiful angels falling from the sky.
Well, I know Elliot Hulse, who I
Mm-hmm.
recommend that guys follow. You can follow him. He has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of takeaways. I would say just doing a lot of vocal exercises. Meditation gives you a little bit more self-awareness of the sound of your voice. I personally do tapping.
What is that?
You see my face light up. It's because that is the one formula I use in my healing.
Mm-hmm.
I combine music. So this is tapping a karate chop. It is psychological acupuncture that releases old memories, that really just lets you speak out what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for both men and women. We all have a memory attached. A memory is in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Frail. We have different meridian points. And when you release it, you start to see yourself. You not only see yourself in the mirror, you can hear your voice and actually like the sound of your voice. I used to hate.
Really? I feel like that's very common for a lot of people that just don't like their voice. They're like, they hear themselves and they're like, is that really how I sound? And you're like, yes. Because I mean, we hear ourselves a little differently. So just being very aware of your voice, I feel like that's powerful.
Absolutely. I said, you have a good voice.
Gracias. Thank you. I appreciate it. So the next question is, how do you make yourself more comfortable, and how do you peel the layers off of your past views on sex to come into a more empowering state? Like, where's the healing? And as a man in a relationship with a woman that probably or has had like sexual traumas, or how do you show up as a man in that too as well? For us dudes that's watching this video.
And to really just learn how to step into your masculine and recognize that you are in your masculine. For example, the big bad wolf doesn't know he's a big bad wolf. Like, it's really understanding like what your gifts are, what your strengths are. Like, Inner Chuck talks about it, like leveraging on your strengths. I believe that you say you like to dance, you like to
music, all that stuff.
Music. For me personally, I get turned on by a guy who he's in love with his passion. A guy who is just, I call it the sapiosexual hat. A guy who is in their knowledge. They're so passionate. They have an appetite for life. There's like guys that are into personal development. They're talking about things that matter to them. And there's this whole quote about small-minded people talk about people, middle-class talk about like events, world-class people talk about worldly things. And for me, it's like when a guy really knows himself,
beautiful,
and he's that bullshit story, then man, girls get so turned on by that.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, guys are like, "Mommy, hey, beautiful.
Hey, what's up, girl?
What's up, girl?
How you doing? Let me get your number."
I mean, Shania Twain, she talks about it in her song. That don't impress me much. Like, don't be name dropping. Like, I don't really care.
So that's like the one tip for men. Like, embrace your masculinity. Have a sense of purpose, direction, and step into it.
Compliments. I just got excited there.
Overdose on compliments. So hold on, wait. Before you move on the compliments, is the compliments not associated with the names? Because I've given a lot of women like compliments, and sometimes how they take it is where it's like, oh, like why did I even give you that compliment? Like it gives them an idea of like, oh my gosh, he likes me or he's trying to hit on me. How do you give a compliment to where it just comes off as like raw, to where it doesn't like go to her head, you know, or make her feel like you're chasing her now? Because I mean, everybody likes to feel like they're like working for something, and they like surprises and little work. So how do you still incorporate compliments? Because sometimes I have a hard time giving compliments.
Absolutely. Really, really good question for guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had a conversation and the guy was like, "You're so cool." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Nice."
Thank you.
Holding my out.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine.
Girls have self-esteem issues, body
Mm-hmm.
issues.
Mm-hmm.
You could say a girl is beautiful. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. But if you notice that she took time to get ready, be very
Mm-hmm.
specific. The more specific you are, then she's like, "Oh wow, he really like saw me."
Okay, I
Like you're
agree.
not just you're beautiful. You could say
Mm-hmm.
something like, "Wow, like it looks like you really took time to get ready."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you realize that you're beautiful. Has anyone really told you that you're beautiful and you actually feel that? Like really use your heart, lead with
Mm-hmm.
your heart. And we hear that, lead with your heart, not with your head.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but you have to notice when you're nervous. When you're nervous
Mm-hmm.
in your body and you're like, what should I say to her? You know, maybe like you want to like say something that you saw on BuzzFeed and use some of the game that guys do, some pickup artists use.
PUAs. Yeah.
Don't do that shit because I've dated one of them.
Really? Well, you dated him, so apparently it worked.
Here's the thing. Rejection can go so far, but that doesn't happen. Like the long-term effect doesn't work.
Okay. Touche. So I definitely agree with you on a lot of things that you're saying as far as tonality, a sense of humor, um, purpose. These are all very attractive things. And it's very interesting how you said like, oh, like don't come at me like, oh, what's up, girl? Wasn't you were trying to like what pickup lines just come off as like you have a purpose in life and you want to include that person into your world and share a beautiful experience in that moment. And I definitely agree. I mean, that has been a big change in my life, and a part of my world that I've been working on is, and a lot more beautiful people have showed up in my experience. So, I mean, what would you feel like is one thing? So that's for men. So for women, what is it that? Because like men, we come and sometimes we go. So for us men, that's the biggest thing is the attraction part, making the woman sense of direction. He has purpose. But what about for the women? Like, what's the one thing that gets your man to just want to like stay, like just be with you, like oh, this is my baby girl, all crying and stuff. In his masculine, he has to cry in his masculine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, okay, I'm done. Go.
Absolutely. And powerful question.
Mm-hmm.
I lost. Oh, there you are. So I haven't really had a relationship in a decade. So I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
from the people I
Mm-hmm.
know that have had that strong relationship. Let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you this: that a perfect relationship isn't being happy all the time. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. We live in a fight, flight, and freeze society. We
Say that
fight.
one more time. Oh, you're
We
about to do
live
it.
in a
Mm-hmm.
fight, flight, or freeze mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, women get so angry. They're like, you didn't do me hard enough. Like, you suck, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not really playing fair.
Mm-mm. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's very
Learning,
mean. That's very mean.
learning how to disagree in a way that both partners show up.
Yeah.
And I've talked to some people that like the girl leaves because she loves herself, a woman who's able to love herself enough to leave
Mm-hmm.
at any point because she has her deal breakers.
Mm-hmm.
That's sexy.
Sexy.
Um,
So
like
for a woman, letting the man know, like, yo, if you're not meeting my standards, I will bounce. That is sexy, and that will keep. Do you feel like that keeps guys wanting more, knowing that you'll walk away? And yeah.
you can't make it seem that it's going to be easy each time.
Mm-hmm.
Like because you're in a relationship on Facebook doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean it's over. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you put the ring on it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean it's either.
Yeah.
Like always know that risk,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for me, I grew up in the side. I grew up in the flight and freeze mentality. Like
Mm-hmm.
don't just be polite. don't say anything.
Yeah, be polite. Don't say anything. It's kind of neutral too.
Well, it was fear because we, as women, we don't make enough money. So sometimes we see men as a provider. So be independent. Sometimes women want to have a sugar daddy.
Yeah, that's a very masculine thing because the men. I mean, as far as like how, like human evolution, the men were always the providers, and the women were like the nurturers.
Absolutely. And for a relationship to work, you have to be okay to know that you're gonna mess up. That you have to like focus on your passions more than focus on him. Like, how can I make him happy? And trust me, I know I'm teaching this to myself mostly.
Yeah, we're also in the work.
I've put guys away because I was so needy and like texting and looking at dopamine dick.
I feel you. Most are. That's so funny.
I say dopamine dick because the sex is so good because dopamine is, you know, a chemical
release. Yeah.
If dopamine was a person, it would be like a Tony Robbins. Like, it's so amazing. Oh my God.
Gets you into a peak state, huh? And oxytocin as well, right? It releases the cuddle hormone.
Yeah, hormone.
The cuddle hormone.
Yeah, absolutely. For relationships to stick together, you have to have a push-pull, opposite polarities, being able to balance each other's masculine and feminine
energy. Yeah.
Guys, when you're like feeling frustrated, be with your men.
Hell yeah.
Some guy time, and girls being okay with that.
Beat on your chest a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, and I am like really excited about this because I listen to a lot of like personal development, and it turns out that when a guy has too much sex, he loses testosterone. He loses like that energy to make more money. So that energy he can be used for sex can actually go into, you know, going out with the boys, like having time, having a man time.
Sexual transmutation. What I was reading on was The Ways of a Superior Man, right? You read that book? Yeah, you got all excited. The Ways of the Superior Man, and it just talks about like different releases, how men want freedom and then women want to surrender. I'm not always men or women, just the feminine and the masculine. And the masculine wants to be free, and there's certain ways to release. And one of those ways was to have sex. One of the ways is the financial killing. And another one is to just like go out and play sports or something, like really get into your manhood, really step into that, really own your guyness.
Yeah. And guys actually build more testosterone that way.
Do your squats. Don't skip leg day.
I do push-ups. I mean, I do my cardio and I lift weights, right? I think it's so important for women to weight lift. I mean, I know living in LA, girls love yoga.
Yeah, they do. They do love yoga.
I love to lift weights. I'm very feminine. I like to dress up and flirt that. But I also like to like get down and do some push-ups.
Yeah,
right?
It's a beautiful balance.
Having that balance within yourself.
Actually, before that question, I want to ask, so SPA is sexual performance anxiety. Do women feel that? Because I know for sure, like from my research, men feel that. But I'm curious if women feels SPA and like how to make your man feel comfortable with sexual performance anxiety, feeling like he's not going to last long enough, feeling like he's not good enough, he's not big enough. Because I mean, a lot of men go through that too as well. And then like, you know, only lasts 5 minutes and you're like, oops. And she's like, I expected so much more. All this for that? You're just like,
I'm like walking to my bedroom as we're talking about performance.
Yeah, performance.
So first of all, don't label it as a performance. You know, it's like there's peer pressure from guys, right? Peer pressure to perform because other guys are like, oh man, I hit this chick. I had sex last night. You know, the locker room humor, right? Have this ideology that we have to make lots of money, that we have to have lots of sex. And
that's true.
These social peer pressures. So first of all, make sure that when you have sex, you're not doing it because you're trying to make someone else happy. Like that pornography is pressuring guys to have so much sex and like just to outnumber guys. So I've done this, I've done this pose, or like the Kama Sutra pose 69, right?
Yeah.
Instead, see it as a rehearsal. This is something my friend said.
That's funny.
You get to play. Change the word performance to playtime.
I like that. That's
adult
beautiful.
playtime. And I'll share a story.
Yeah, bust it.
It's hilarious because I was told I was bad in bed.
They're like, you're not good. Like, he said it like that. Like, just
okay. I was drunk. Had bottomless mimosas, and I was like texting someone on Tinder. I drove 4 hours, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm so good in bed, and I was like talking up a game and texting. I get there, and I was just like, okay, just do me. So I'm like wide open, and then later on I got a message like, sorry sweetheart, that was bad.
Wow.
And I've had that where the guys talk a big game. Have you ever used Tumblr?
Yeah.
So guys send like these images, these memes, these GIFs, and we're sexting each other, all these like pornography type, and we're like, oh my god, you're so turned on. By the time you get to the bedroom, you're like, like you're back to missionary, and you're like, and then before you know it, you either can't perform, which is erectile dysfunction, or you come too fast.
Wow.
Instead of learning to just slow down, to have no expectations.
Just be present.
If you see little kids, you're not like, I have to build this big Lego box for something because I'm building the largest tower.
They just enjoy it.
They're just enjoying just being present.
Beautiful. 3 books that you highly suggest for the viewers. What is that for you?
3 books.
3 books. I don't even know. That's not a word.
I actually have a book club. I love this because I have a book club. The first book for women and for men.
First book for women and men. Drop it. Go.
Pussy, a Reclamation.
And can you find that in your local bookstore?
Oh my God. So this is a really interesting conversation I had with one of my coaching clients. And I'm looking for the pussy book, and people were like, what? So just go to the counter, ask for the pussy at Barnes & Noble's, but you can order it for cheaper on Amazon. And
what is, and just like a little summary, what is the book about, and how, like, the benefits of the book, and how would that book, what area would that book help with women's life or men's life?
It teaches women to not depend on a guy for pleasure. You know, in that book, it teaches women to masturbate. Guys know how to masturbate. It's just like a natural thing. It's just there. It's like out there. Our parts are designed differently. It's kind of like invisible, it feels. Yeah. But when a woman learns to really like embrace her body, she can be radiant. She's joyful. So the book provides a lot of historical facts. It provides the anatomy of the body, provides like some really cool things to do. It's very interactive, lots of homework assignments. And I know it's really shifted how I talk about sex and men. Yeah.
Second book.
Urban Tantra.
And the benefits of the book as well.
The benefits of the book teaches you how to mix BDSM and Tantra. It talks about chakras and how the chakras relate to your sexual energy. That's actually my favorite part. And it talks about sex magic. How, like, I call it the law of attraction. You know, your sexual energy. Imagine I think of it as I'm masturbating and I'm thinking of all the things that I want to manifest.
Sexual transmutation.
Really powerful book to read.
Third book. Third but not last, or last but not least.
Book is Come As You Are.
I like that. That's a cool little title. Say that again one more time. One more time, girl. One more time.
Come as you are.
All right, come as you are. And what are the benefits for coming as you are?
You're so funny. Come as you are is really mostly for women. I mean, guys can read it too. So say, for example, you're with a woman who's kind of insecure, body shame issues, probably has an abnormal sense of sexuality, relates to our upbringing as children.
Yeah.
This is like a really good book. And it's really healthy because she also talks about masturbating and looking at your pussy in the mirror.
Oh, I do that. Well, I don't do it for myself, obviously, but I focus, I focus and I be present with it and just take time, turn the lights on and just like kind of stare at it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we talk about looking at each other in the mirror. The mirror is a big reflection of how we express ourselves. I mean, our makeup, but sometimes when we look at our parts, especially men, they're like, oh, it's so gross. It's, women have really like negative way of seeing our bodies instead of like, you know what? I fucking love my pussy. No matter what, because it's porn that fucks up things.
Yeah, that makes
I'm not
the ideas of it.
I'm not saying that all porn is bad. I'm just saying if you are someone who watches porn to the extreme, it can mess up with you and your psychology.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people will have a challenge doing that kind of thing and getting off of it, and just everybody has their things that they're working on. But what I found really interesting, was the fact that you're a sex coach, but you're currently practicing celibacy, right? So can you talk about a little bit about that?
Oh my God. You're really fun. Now I'm playing with my hair. I'm getting hot. This is a great question, and I own it. Yeah. Actually, I have like a high sex drive.
Oh man, it must be fun practicing celibacy with a high sex drive.
I had a lot of sex last year. I'm learning how to still incorporate sexuality while practicing celibacy. This came as a dare from my friend. He was like, I challenge you to be celibate. And I'm like, sex coach. He's like, well, this is a perfect chance for you to learn about your body, to learn about sexuality as a celibate woman. So for me, my biggest vice is I tend to get hooked on emotionally because of sex. But as I'm reading the pussy book, I'm learning to like embrace masturbation. I'm learning to embrace elements like tantra, to soul gaze, to really connect with people, because underneath that sexual addiction is the desire to connect. The desire to just, hug someone without expecting anything.
That intimacy. That's interesting.
Intimacy.
But yeah, that's interesting because like I've learned more about myself and my sex life, and I feel like my sex life has went up to another level after I practiced celibacy. It like changed everything. It like enhanced how I felt about the person I shared my energy with. It enhanced when I do share my energy with that person, it means that much more after being celibate for such a period of time, because I was like, okay, I'm going to choose this person right now after being 6 months without, so it better be this person. Like, this is the person I want to be with right now, So I just think that's so beautiful. That's high five. High five. Yeah. So Erika, thank you for being on the channel. Let them know where they could follow you at and how you get down, how you make it work. And you do bachata, girl, like you're a win-win. Work. Do a little body roll.
Do like Briones bachata. Yeah, I love
there you go. Yeah, me too.
So where they can follow me is Sexy Soul Matrix on platforms. Instagram, Snapchat. Snapchats are sexy because I like to teach women how to flirt.
I need to check out your Snapchat.
And on Facebook. Facebook is down right now because Facebook is crazy. But they can follow me more on my website, So if they are interested in a discovery call, sexysoulmatrix.org.
Boom.
Boom.
You already know what it is. Big shout out to you, Erika. Stay blessed. I liked your prayer earlier. It was awesome. We're going to keep it going up. It was good interviewing you. Peace out, guys. Much love, one small change. You guys know what to do. If you guys have any questions for Erika, make sure to leave a comment somewhere down here. You guys see underneath? Okay. And shout out to her again. She is a lovely, beautiful, spiritual, all that being. So nice. Peace out, guys. Stay blessed. Stay feisty. Stay being yourself. Peace. Come as you are. And I'm out.
Thank you